Good afternoon. This is the fourth and last tiny video on the fourth and fifth section replacements for the policy manual. And this little section is giving some motivations for placing a minimum for rush orders. First of all, if we remember from our DVD, it costs PBM $20 to do a rush order. These are the costs from the local level and the central office level, costs which were incurred even when we didn't have central purchasing, but which were not calculated. By placing a minimum, we are saying that a person can't come in and ask for one book rushed, which would mean that a lot of people would have to stop everything they're doing for the book centers in order to rush this one order. And in doing so, we incur a $20 loss. So although the person may only pay $15 for the book plus $5 in postage, we are paying $20 in order to get them that one book. These types of orders really should be directed to Amazon.com or directly to the vendor. People can get them faster and cheaper in that way. It is more difficult, however, for someone to get a larger number of books for a pastoral purpose or an educational purpose. And we are willing to stop and do rush orders that are sizable, sufficiently sizable, in order to do this and supply the books for them. I was in the Manhattan Book Center last week, and a woman came in asking for the Haddock version of the Douay-Rheims Bible, which of course we didn't have. And it's a very expensive Bible. And she wanted that version because her friends had it and she had seen it. So I went to the back for 3 seconds, did some quick Amazon research, and came out and told her what it cost. I gave her a copy. I told her where she could get it, the company, or she could get it on Amazon. And she was like so happy because she had no idea where to get this book. And if we hadn't told her, she would be wandering around New York City from bookstore to bookstore asking for this obscure title. So for her, it was a big service that we gave her the information she needed to get that book. And she will send other people. When people ask for books in the future, or if she's looking for something, she will remember us and come back. And at that time, we may have the particular book she's looking for. Second of all, it is true that a vendor may not have a minimum order for a full discount. However, if we are making tiny orders or rush ordering small quantities of books, the sale of the smaller value does not cover the cost of processing the order. So if we're ordering just 1 or 2 books, we're not covering the cost of processing the order, even if the postage is paid by the customer. However, if there are a larger number of books are being ordered, it's more likely that we will cover our costs. Also, the minimum requirements vary for different vendors, and the $170 retail minimum, or $100 cost, is an average that should meet the discount terms for the majority of our vendors. There is now a minimum for customer requests from non-special order vendors, as we talked about earlier. Why is there a minimum here? This is not a rush order. First of all, the fact that vendors are listed as non-special order vendors means that we are doing this order for someone only as an exception. The minimum of $170 retail or $100 cost keeps us from turning these vendors into special order vendors. And there are some reasons for this that are not immediately evident. For example, if we start placing orders for these vendors for 1 book here, 1 book there, for books that we would not ordinarily stock or that we don't even want on our shelves, but someone wants to buy them, when that book is picked up and paid for, it will be restocked in your center. And now we have sitting on your shelves books that will not sell because their lifespan is past or that no one's interested in. Your purchaser can't know that this one book was for a special order, and we do not want it on our shelves, especially when this is happening a lot. However, if we are ordering, 20 books or 10 books for some special request of a customer, then a purchaser most likely will see that blip on the screen from 0 sales for the last year to 10, and know that that probably was a special order and a fluke. This kind of, it just happened in a center. It was really my fault because I asked the purchasers to go ahead and tag this request onto a PO because they were doing it at the time that the request came in. And as a result, this whole series of books, $800 worth, was ordered for the special order, and then when it was picked up, it was reordered again, and then it was reordered again. So, I worked with the manager and we resolved it. However, it will take a couple of months that they'll have to keep watching the POs to make sure that those books do not get reordered until the numbers kind of fall out of the replenishment requests. Also, we have to realize that our special order vendors are really core vendors. The items that they have and the topics that they have are central to who we are as Pauline Books and Media. Books that are coming from non-special order vendors are often part of what's called the assortment. They are not core items or topics. They are like the salt and the pepper and the spice of the center. They cover topics that aren't often asked for, but sometimes are, and we need to have covered. They cover things from different angles. They give life to the center. The orders for these vendors are smaller and less frequent. So if we're taking an order for one book that we're going to throw onto a replenishment, it's going to take more than one book or two books to actually reach the minimum. So we are, again, only having orders for non-special vendors. They have to be larger orders so that we can guarantee that we'll be able to place the order. If we are treating these non-special order vendors as a special order vendor and placing orders for individuals for them, it will take many small requests in order to reach a large enough total cost for a PO for that vendor to actually place the order. In the central office, our hands get tied behind our back. When a center takes an order for a non-SPO vendor for a customer who is expecting it for a particular date, and we really don't have a reason for placing a replenishment order from that vendor for your center at all. So we end up padding the order with unneeded inventory for the purpose of getting the person's order to them. Again, they can get the order for themselves online or wait for the book to be replenished. And if we remember, this padding of orders so that we could place special orders with the vendor or Ingram was one large contributing factor to a large overstock of unsellable inventory that had to be put on clearance or discarded several years ago. So therefore, to reiterate, if a person is coming in and asking for a request from a non-special order vendor and it meets the minimum, if it is needed for a particular date, that must be put in as a rush order, because we cannot guarantee that we will be making a replenishment from that vendor by the date specified by the customer. So there is a minimum of $170 retail or $100 cost for any customer request from a non-special order vendor. And though this seems like a lot, that would come out to at least about 8 to 10 books. And usually when we received a request for this kind of ordering, it's been 20 books or 25 books. So I think with a little bit of getting used to, I think this policy will work. So thank you very much for your patience, and God bless you. Give us a call if there are any more questions.